Good morning again, everybody. This is Colleen Light with Cards by Coco. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I come to you from Southwest Washington. Well, after about 8 attempts of coming live and going off live and then going live and then having to bounce off because I am not used to, it's been a while since I've done a live video. I decided that we're not even going to try the camera flip this time around because it clearly has not been working well for me. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me tell you a little bit about what's happening here first before we get going with our card. First up, I will be working with this wonderful Thoughtful Journey stamp, a sweet collection. Oh, so out of practice, guys. So out of practice. Anyway, this is a gorgeous, gorgeous, sweet collection. I absolutely love all the papers. I can't wait to show you everything that comes in it. Excuse me if my voice is a little raspy. I have allergies all summer long. Anyway, just beautiful paper, beautiful stamps. The dies are gorgeous. We're going to do a little bit of a fun fold, and I'll show you some of the simple cards I've made since I am at heart a simple stamper. Just a little bit of Stampin' Up! Business here. First off, we are in the month of August, so you can redeem those bonus days coupons. Yay, I think that's so much fun. I love a sale. The second thing is there is going to be a designer series paper sale starting August 6th that runs through the end of August. And you'll get 15% off. And this gorgeous designer series paper that I'm going to show you is actually on the sale. So really happy about that. So let me show you this paper because I absolutely love it, love it, love it. And I actually am one of these people that loves when the designer series paper does the heavy lifting for me. I love to make cards, but I am a simple stamper at heart. So I love when the designer series paper does the heavy lifting for me. So look at these gorgeous colors here. Aren't these just stunning images? All right, so bear with me as I do my first live. And, you know, I'd like to tell you I will have a steady time, but I won't because I have a large family and we are always busy and out there enjoying ourselves. So my schedule is always changing. So I'll come on once a week, show you what I'm working on, but I'll be flying by the seat of my pants. And those of you who have followed me you just know that's how I am. I just, you know. But look at this. So I just think these colors are absolutely beautiful, and you are likely going to have something in your craft room that will, you know, coordinate with those colors. So you get 48 sheets of 6x6 in this Thoughtful Journey. Again, this goes on sale on August 6th. The whole suite itself, I looked it up this morning. It looks like it's on low inventory. So if you love it, you should make sure you get it. I think the gems are gorgeous. Let me show you these. Beautiful. Let me show you the dies because I didn't work with them today. But look at how many. You get 11 dies and they're just beautiful. Here's the stamp set and this Thoughtful Designer Series specialty paper. Let me pull that out. And then we're going to have some fun making a card. We'll see if we have fun. I hope we have fun. So if you're watching, leave a comment or a like. Please share the video. And be sure to follow me on all the social channels so you are notified when I pop on live since my schedule is very inconsistent. So you're notified. And if you really love anything to do with dogs, make sure you follow my Instagram because I have the most adorable King Charles Cavalier, 7.5-month-old puppy. And you can follow Harvey's adventures. So when I talk about designer series paper doing the heavy lifting for me, this is what I mean. I just used some wild wheat. I started with the basic white cardstock. Put in a layer of wild wheat, use that designer series paper layer, stamp thanks, use some gems, and this card was done. So I do a lot of craft shows, So I make a lot of very simple, easy cards. I tend to think that people don't always know, how to sometimes, what the fun fold is, because we, when I'm doing the craft shows, they're sealed. So anyway, I think that one's beautiful. This one I actually love, and it is the simplest card I think I have ever made. And I love this card. Again, thick, basic white cardstock. I went ahead, and this is Lost Lagoon. I used one of our blending brushes. So let me show you what that looks like. This is the one. It's not Lost Lagoon color, but this is a blending brush. And I would say, then I just stamped it in the same colors. It's very monochromatic. Using this image, added some white gems that I had, and a little bit of twine. And I just love this simple card because I think it's one of those all-purpose cards you can send to anybody for any occasion. And yet I just think it has enough color to be really pretty. So let me know what you think. This is the card I'm going to make today. I looked at the Technique Tuesday, and they did more of a bridge card, but I had made this card during a class with Kim Quady in, gosh, I think it was like last September, October. It was sometime in the fall because it was pumpkin, and it's very similar, but I thought it was maybe a little easier. So I am going to be doing this one, and this is how I made it. Just a little bit of this jute and some designer series paper, a little bit of stamping, just a few little extra techniques. So hang in there with me while I make this card. Let's get busy here. I like to cut all the paper and do everything together. So let's go ahead and get started. And again, thank you so much for bearing with me as I restart my Stampin' Up! Journey here. And like I said, I'm so excited to be back to doing lives, although it is a little nerve-wracking when you haven't done it for a while. And it's not joining you, because I love to spend time with my crafty friends. That's not the part that makes me nervous. It's more the technology. I have a hard time flipping the camera, not hitting the button to turn it off. Anyway, enough about that. Let's have some fun crafting. So for the base, we want this at 4 1/4, and I am using Boho Blue because I just think it's a very pretty color, and I want to use it. Oh, sorry, here. I'm moving all about. We'll get it. So let's just do 4 1/4. So share with me your favorite types of cards to make. Are you a fun fold person, or are you a simple stamper? So 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 in the Boho Blue. And this is our card base. For the center component, so when I'm talking about that, it's this piece here. We want this at 3 1/4 by 8 1/2. So I'm going to come over to 8 1/2 here. Let me see. I'm out of screen again. Of course I am. Of course I am. 8 1/2 by 3 1/4. And then we are going to want to score this at 4 1/4. Did I do that? 8 1/2 by 3 1/4. And score this at 4 1/4. And of course, I will have everything blogged for you, so don't worry about writing down the directions. And here's our centerpiece. So there we go. Good morning, Wendy. How are you? You love fun fold and boxes. I love to make boxes. I do love that. I don't make a lot of fun folds, but I'm thinking I should start. All right, so you can already see the start. This is how this is going to come together. Let's grab this beautiful piece of paper here. And I think, I don't remember which one I used. Let me see here. Isn't that always the way? I start and it's like, oh, I don't remember which one I started with. I think it was this one. Let's go with this one. I think this one's very pretty. Let's just use that one. And we want this at 5 3/8. Let's bring this over to 5 3/8. I just don't think you can really go wrong with this paper in general. And by 4 1/8. So which way? I'm gonna just take a little bit off of this top because I really want most of the flowers in there. So I'm gonna take a little bit off of the top there. Play around with your paper so that, you get what you like. Oh, no, I really want that big flower in there. Let's see here. Okay, by 4 1/8. And you'll see that this piece will fit here. Let's grab another piece for the center. And I wanted to find, you'll see I used the back of the Designer Series paper. So let's see if I can find one that I just love that will, oh, look at how pretty that one is. That one's very pretty. So I think maybe I want more with a little bit more blue since I'm using the boho blue. Let me see here. Let's see. That's a little dark. All right, let's use that one. And this is just a little piece. I want this one in 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. So let's go 4 1/8 here and get most of that blue in, I think. So let's turn it this way. This is what happens when I decide to craft with you here, is that we all kind of go together. So if you have a different idea, let me know. If you say, oh, I don't think that's going to look good, let me know what you think in the comments. See, that's pretty because now we have all that blue in the background. Perfect, 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 perfect. Now for the inside panel, we need a piece of our basic white. And I have some scraps over here. And we need, again, 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. Let's go 4 1/8. Let's do 3 1/8 first, and then we'll just trim that. Try and conserve some paper. I apparently think I have lots of paper, and I don't worry so much. Let me see. So we have 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. Let's go ahead here. Make sure I have this done properly. Nope, I do not. Let me do it again. Go 4 1/8. I thought maybe I had messed that one up. By 3 1/8. There we go. Much better. Much, much better. Okay, how about we start having some fun now and we start doing some coloring and all the different things, because that's the fun part for me, is actually playing around with all of the inks and whatnot. So I've got my piece of scratch paper here. I've got this. Oh, and I did cut a piece of basic white in advance. I did take that out using the Stylish Shapes dies. I cut a square. Let me show you which one. So that's all I did, was take that. And if you don't have the Stylish Shaped squares, this is actually, you could cut your own square. It would be, about 2 3/4. Let me see here. Let me just do it here. 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. So if you don't have a square die, don't worry about it. You won't get the ridge there, but you can certainly cut a square 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 just using your basic white cardstock. I know sometimes we get caught up in having all the things, and having all the things is really nice, but you can usually make your crafting work if it's a card you really love in a different way. So don't worry if you're a new crafter and you don't have all the things yet, don't worry about it. I do like to have some tools available though, and these blending brushes are great because it's a good way to add color to your cardstock. So I'm just going to tap this in here. Always start off of your paper, or you'll end up, you can see, with that blob there. that would have ended up in the middle of my paper here. So that's why I start off and start a little bit of ink because I just want a very faint background. So start with less. You can always add more. You cannot take it away. So start with less. And again, this is the boho blue. You won't find me using a ton of different colors or anything along those lines. Again, I tend to be pretty simple with the things I like to do. So let's grab this stamp out. Here, let's take this one. Let me get a block. And I didn't put the stickers on the back. Oh, I better line that up a little bit straighter or I'm gonna end up in trouble. I did cut 2 of these because sometimes if you've followed me, you know, there is the possibility that something might end up a little uneven. And I'm using the Memento Tuxedo Black. And I did use the refill on this not long ago. So, no, yep, looks good. And I'm stamping a little bit closer to the top because I'm putting the sentiment down low. So this is my trick, or my hint, I should say. It's not a trick, it's a hint. Go ahead and put your sentiment on before we start coloring, because yesterday I did it and then the sentiment was crooked and I was really disappointed because my coloring was completely on point. I have to tell you, it was really, really good, and I had to throw away that piece of paper. So I was very disappointed. I'm going to go ahead and this time, instead of making a missing you card, I'm going to switch this one up to thanks. I know who I'm sending this one to, but I think I need a thank you card also. So let's go ahead and do that. I use our grid paper and I line it up to get it on my block a little bit straighter. Can you hear my neighbor's dog out there barking? He's a vocal one. He likes to bark a bit. There we go. Perfect. Now, you can see in this, I went a little off center. You could ground it a little bit more right under your flowers if you wanted. I like things a little bit off center, so that's what I'm doing. See? Thanks. Now, I don't have the blends. I do not have the boho blue or the Lost Lagoon blends. I don't have everything since I've been back. So I'm doing my old trick, which is to grab a blender pen. And if you have not seen these from Stampin' Up, I think you should buy some. These blender pens are amazing. They just have this wonderful, nice tip, and how you clean it, I'll show you, is you literally just wipe the ink off. So what I'm going to do is take my ink pad and a small block and just put the littlest bit of ink there. And I'm going to close up the boho blue because I'm likely going to stick my fingers in it before I get the coloring finished. So let me move that out of the way. I'm going to pick a little bit of this ink up, test it out here on my paper, and then I'm going to just start coloring in. So if you like to color smaller spaces, I don't think these blender pens, sometimes if you're doing large spaces and you have to go over and over, they can almost pill the paper a little bit. But for things like this flower that I'm doing, it works out just great. And you can, as you can see, I made some lighter and some darker with the amount of ink I applied there. To clean it, you just do this. That's all you do. That's it. Pretty easy. Now we're going to add some Lost Lagoon in and I'm going to use the other side of this block. Let me wipe this off here. And we're going to use the Lost Lagoon right here for the leaves. So I need to buy a few more blending pens, or pardon me, a few more of the blends. But since I didn't have them, I thought, oh, I have all these blender pens in my drawer. Let's pull those out and see how the coloring works. And I really like how this has turned out. So tell me, do you have the markers? Do you have the blends? Do you have any blending pens in your stash? It really is a great way to add a little bit of color. And like I said, you can make them, if you keep just reusing, you can make it the color brighter or lighter as you like. So I don't know, I really like them. And that added the perfect amount of color for me. Just perfect. And again, we're just gonna clean this off on the edge of my scratch paper, just like that. And I was able to color this project without the, let me show you what I'm talking about in case you're new to Stampin' Up. Without the, I don't know if I can bring it up in the catalog real quick. Let me see. Oh, I think I have to sneeze. I'll just grab one. Hang on. The Stampin' Blends. I didn't have the right color in the Stampin' Blends. The name would not come to me. I apologize. So let's go ahead and get our card together. Let's go ahead and put our designer series paper on. Let's get this started. And I will check comments later. And I hope you all are having a wonderful Friday. Do you have big plans for the weekend? We have a few things going on, not a ton. Let's move this out of the way. So I like to line it up on the 3 sides to try and get it where I need it. Oh, we're gonna call that good enough. Good enough, a little off, but it's good enough. I'm not gonna try and pull it off, let me tell you that. Here, I'll go with the glue. Sometimes that gives me a little bit more wiggle room. Some people love the seal. I tend to do sometimes a little bit better with the glue because it gives me, like I said, a little bit more of that wiggle room. Let's pop this designer series paper on right there, like that. And let's go ahead and add this inside piece while we have it. So I really appreciate everyone hanging in there with me as I get back to stamping and crafting. Let's go ahead and put this down. And we want it about 1 inch on either side. I'm eyeballing. You can grab a ruler if you want. Let's see here. Let's see how I did. Yep, it's fine. Put that there. Pretty, pretty. Let's add our sentiment piece right here. So I'm gonna add just a little bit of glue here. Make sure I don't go overboard because I don't want it to show through the other side. I'm going to get that centered as best as I can. The markers, blends, and color pencils also use the blender pens. Oh, that's good to know. I don't think I knew that. I knew the markers did, but I didn't know about the blender pens or the pencils. Thanks, Wendy. Let's go ahead and grab some of this jute here to make a little bow. And this is one of the in color, the jute. I'm sorry, I don't think I have the package out. I'd have to go look up the name. I have it in my supply list on the blog. I love this. Sometimes it's a little thick, but I just look at it like cross stitch thread in a sense that if it's a little thick, I just pull out a strand. Let me go ahead, and when I say pull out a strand, I'll show you what I mean. Like if you wanted something narrow, you could just take this and pull it apart like you would cross stitch thread. So speaking of cross stitch, if you don't know, I am an avid cross stitcher. I absolutely love it. I entered my first fair this year, which is, I was a little nerve-wracked, but it was a very small fair, and I won first place for the Christmas ornament I made, and I posted that over on my Instagram channel. So if you want to see my little Santa, it is a small fair, so I don't know that I have bragging rights because it's such a small fair, but there were not very many entries. I did not enter the large fair. Oh, this is what it is. I did have it out. The 2023-2025 in color jute trim. But I did win first place for it. So even though there were hardly any other entries, I'm going to say, just tell everyone it won first place, and that's just that. So there we go. A little bit there. Let's grab some of these beautiful gems that come in this suite here. And I don't know. If you're still watching, leave me a comment and let me know which gem you think matches. I'm kind of thinking I'm going to go with this one, but I don't know if it looks too dark. Maybe this one. I don't know. I really like them all. I like them all. Oh, thanks, Wendy. Wendy said my cross stitch is beautiful, so thank you. You know, I think I'm going to go with this one. I think this one's so pretty, and I'm just going to go ahead and pick this up here like that. These are so pretty, these gems that come in. And I'm putting them actually on the bottom layer because I mail a lot of my cards. And even though my tendency would be to ground this by putting maybe 3 gems under here, I'm putting them deliberately on this back piece because I think it evens out the card and it will be easier to mail. So and then let's put this one. I like everything in 3s. Let's just put it up there. All right, so this is, good morning, Joan. So this is today's card. So for the little throwback, this is one that I made way back in the fall. I think this is pick of the package. Don't quote me on it, I think. This is today's card. I think it is so pretty. This is the one I made yesterday. And let me show you the simple ones that I made again. Again, I think this very simple one is my favorite, but I'm a simple stamper at heart. So if it's clean and basic and easy, that's probably me. And then this is just one where the Designer Series paper does the heavy lifting. So let me know which one is your favorite. Follow the other social channels. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. Like I said, I'm coming on once a week. I have no idea of the time or the day because I'm just busy. My family is busy. So let me know what you think of today's cards. And again, thank you for bearing with me during my first video after being gone for a while. I so appreciate it. I'll see you next week and have everything posted for you by the end of the day. Take care.